What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another exciting episode of Whatever News! The only news source that provides anything and everything anime and manga related. And we don't bore you. We get into it. Let's do it.
No matter how you feel, get it done. No matter how you feel, get it done. No matter how you feel, get it done. No matter how you feel, get it done.
Okay, people, welcome back to another episode. As always, want to remind you, in case you ain't subscribed, you may want to do so. Help the channel grow, help Forever News continue to rise and climb up the ranks, and hopefully help us get to 1 million subscribers sometime sooner than later. So yeah, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to get all notifications, and I don't want to waste any more of your time. Let's get to the stories, because we got some stuff to talk about, a little bit of heftiness, to say the least. And first story on the docket, I'm sure a story that a lot of people came to click on and see. Well, what is it next, man? What is Weekly Shonen Jump magazine getting ready to do? Whose dreams are they getting ready to crush? Who is up out of here in Shonen Jump magazine? Now, y'all know it was, I want to say, what, a couple months back at this particular point that there was three technically, serializations began. One of which was from the author of the One Piece spin-off series, and then there was two other ones that I actually covered here with videos, Doran Dororan and Ayashimon from the creator of Hell's Paradise. And yeah, those three manga have been around for a while, and usually this is about the time where, okay, the next round of serialization is approaching, and some stories gotta go. Now, thankfully for a lot of people, as it stands right now, at the very least, this could change within the drop of a hat. Within a couple days, I can be telling you guys, uh-oh, bad news. But as it stands right now, the announcement for the series as ending is none of those three. But I could potentially see, at the very least, one or two of those going within the next serialization round, just keeping it real. Like, I think, for the most part, Ayashimon might be safe, because there's a lot of hype around it. It's really freaking good, and just in general, I'm loving it. I'm caught up to date. I haven't fell behind yet. Doran Dororan, that one is up in the air at this particular point. It started off really interesting to me, and then little by little, I've kind of been like, okay, what are we doing here? And then the other one by the author of Koizuru One Piece, I really didn't even give it a shot, to be honest with you, so I'm not sure about that one. But the manga that is ending in Shonen Jump, I thought was particularly safe, because it was just fairly recently that it was celebrating, like, yo, a year in the magazine, this is crazy, all of that good stuff. And apparently, seemingly, it's coming to an end, which more than likely means it's canceled, because if a manga ends up in Weekly Shonen Jump, the whole objective is get it popular enough, get it in anime and all that jazz. If you make it past the first year's round, usually it means that you're safe, but oftentimes they can still get the axe if Shonen Jump chooses to do so, and this series is another victim of it. And the series I'm talking about, you may have heard of it, just a wince. Magu-chan. That one is one that I am gonna lie, I was surprised that it lasted as long as it did, because it never really caught on per se. I never really saw like, yo dog, the Magu-chan community is going wild, going bonkers on Twitter. Like, I really haven't seen it like that, to be honest with you. But let's read what was said from the unofficial Weekly Shonen Jump. It appears Magu-chan is close to its end. Kei Kamiki's comment in issue number 9 says, even if it seems like this is the final episode, it's not the end just yet. I look forward to working with you next week. The final text of this week's chapter says, Magu-chan, God of Destruction, the end. But the editor note adds that it'll continue for a little bit longer, meaning it could be like, what, 2 or 3 more weeks or whatnot, which technically, if the new serializations are around like the 10 chapter-ish mark, I think like Ayashimon was the one that was printed first of the 3, and that one is at like chapter 10, probably 2 to 4 more weeks before whatever is going to end for that round is going to end. So I'm guessing Magu-chan probably has like maybe a month, 2 months max of chapters, and then boom, that's when they're gonna give it the axe. But yeah, it's a shitty situation. I'll never ever, no matter what, how I feel about a series, celebrate its end, because this is an author that their dreams came true and their dreams are being ripped away just before reaching that point of, yo, we're getting that anime adaptation. That's one of the worst things. Like, there's people to this day that still scream out, why didn't Siren get an anime? It lasted so long in Jump. That's just the name of the game, and unfortunately, Magu-chan, God of Destruction, no Beerus intended, yeah, seemingly coming to an end. And I mean, I never really got into the series, just being honest with you, and if it was in comparison to like Ayashimon and Doran Dororan, I would prefer those two over Magu-chan, because I just never really got into it. But it's still always a shitty situation all around, and And yeah, it looks like probably within the next serialization round, when the cancellations come through, Magu-chan is going to be one of those. Okay, people, next up, as y'all already know, I've been throwing a lot of comic book related or just in general stuff that is from the comic book world, whether it be movies or anything of that jazz. I've been wanting to talk about it, and we got a new poster for the upcoming The Batman film, and baby, I ain't gonna lie, I'm just so hyped. You got, of course, Robert Pattinson as Batman. You got the Riddler, Penguin, Catwoman, and then you got Robert Pattinson, aka I guess he would be Bruce Wayne there, with like a question mark and a target at the same time, and a burning car. Is that the new Batmobile? Okay, that might be the new Batmobile. And I don't know, man. Maybe because it's Batman and all the trailers have shown that, yeah, I should believe in this one, but I'm so excited about this, and I can't even believe, like, it kind of just dawned on me recently, like, we're only about a month and some change away. In March, the movie comes out, and this is a absolute day one watch for me. It's been quite some time since we got a new full-on Batman movie, and this poster, I ain't gonna lie, man, I don't know. I like that they're going in a different direction with the Riddler. He's not the same suave, debonair, you know, super smart dude. He's kind of a creep. Well, let's see how creepy they could go with it. Then Penguin, there's definitely going to be the whole idea of like, yo, dog, Danny DeVito, what he did back in the day, you can't match that. So it looks like maybe he looks a little more classier, less creepier. And then I ain't gonna lie, man, they definitely did Halle Berry dirty back in the day, because I ain't gonna lie, that kind of feels like they're trying to recreate Halle Berry's look there for a moment with Catwoman, and I'm all on board. I ain't gonna lie, I just wish, yeah, Halle Berry didn't get all that slander back in the day. I don't think the movie was that bad, you know, the Catwoman movie. But either way, yeah, the new The Batman, this poster looks awesome. Robert Pattinson, he might actually be able to get it done. I mean, come on, dog. We've had, like, people were like, oh, George Clooney and shit. Like, we've had a whole bunch of different incarnations of Batman, and if this one goes well, we'll get a trilogy. If not, they'll do a Amazing Spider-Man, and we'll get maybe 1 or 2 movies, and then they'll reboot it again or some shit like that. Hopefully not. I'm hoping that this is a good one, because this poster looks pretty fire, and the movie looks like it's going to be pretty good as well. Hopefully they could get it done, but yeah, new poster, The Batman. I'm really, really excited about this film. Next up, y'all know it is a dry well when it comes to announcements, news, and just in general anything with Yu Yu Hakusho. I want to say one of the last times we got something about Yu Yu Hakusho was when they were putting out the Blu-rays, and they had that extra brand new animated OVA of Yu Yu Hakusho. It was like a flashback of Kurama and Hiei when they were younger. I still don't own that. I really want to. I'm just saying, like, whoever want to license it, we're waiting. But yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho, apparently they opened up and they did like a new promo image as well, which looks freaking awesome. It says here, Yu Yu White Paper Character Cafe collaboration will be held. So they're opening up a new Yu Yu Hakusho cafe, and I don't know, it's just kind of funny to me. Like, they look all fly as hell in these suits and whatnot, and then they just got like the 3 Demon Kings in the back just chilling. Like, hey, look, it's Ryzen and Yomi and Mukuro, right? Mukuro, yeah. I think it would be probably pronounced Mukuro instead of Mukuro, which dubs back in the day. But either way, it looks kind of suave, debonair, and I always love to see it. Like, I wish they would do more with the property of Yu Yu Hakusho. I don't know if it's Togashi that after he closed that chapter, just like he keeps the Hunter x Hunter fan base in suspense of, will anything ever happen again? It might be the same thing with Yu Yu Hakusho, because, dog, look how cool this shit looks. Why can't we get something, a movie every fucking 3 or 4 or 5 years? I'd be fine with that. Just like, hey, what happened with Yusuke after everything? You know what I'm saying? A lot of plot threads and whatnot were tied up, but I just want more. I love these characters. These are some of the most badass characters in all of shonen anime in general. They're so freaking awesome, and seeing them with suits and then with the Demon Kings behind them, like, a man can dream. A man can dream. But hey, they're doing a suave, debonair cafe collaboration with Yu Yu Hakusho. Okay, people, next up, some unfortunate news from the Dragon Ball world, from Dragon Ball Z world in particular. The composer, the person that made Chala, Hechara, Ume, like, yeah, that dude, Hironobu Kageyama, unfortunately, it seems as though he has been contracted with COVID, and considering the fact that he's up there in age, it's definitely a little bit more scarier. Like, of course it's scary regardless, because you don't know how somebody's going to react to catching it, but with the younger voice actors, you kind of feel a little bit more like, well, they look like they're in good health, and, you know, hopefully everything goes good. Hironobu Kageyama is a very older man. He's been around for a while, and ultimately he's going to be a little bit more at high risk for something potentially, God forbid, going a little bit wrong. But let's quickly read. Dragon Ball Z fans wish one of its stars well after COVID died diagnosis. Over the years, Dragon Ball has introduced some major heroes to audiences, and they've been brought to life by truly talented actors overseas. Its original Japanese cast features some bona fide icons at this point, so you can see why the fandom is protective of the stars. This is also why fans are sharing their best wishes with Hironobu Kageyama, as the beloved singer just confirmed he's tested positive for COVID-19. The singer took to social media to inform fans of his recent diagnosis. The 60-year-old informed fans he was in good spirits after testing positive and is currently isolating while recovering. It doesn't seem the artist is in critical condition, and fans are wishing Kageyama a speedy recovery. For those who don't know this artist by name, there is a good chance you know his music. Kageyama debuted as a musician at 16, but he gained notoriety in the early 1980s after tackling theme songs for anime series. He went on to do a number of theme songs for Dragon Ball, such as Cha-La Head Cha-La, which marks the anime's first ever theme. He also did singles like We Got a Power, We Were Angels, Hero, and more. Obviously, Kageyama is an involved member of the Dragon Ball family, and fans are eager to hear about his recovery. The singer is one of the thousands who have been infected with the virus in Japan during its ongoing wave. As of January 25th, the nation recovered over 62,000 cases, with its weekly average nearing 50,000. And yeah, I ain't gonna lie, just want to send best wishes, because this is a 60-something-year-old man, and yeah, it's just scary time when it comes to especially the elderly. So get well, Hironobu Kageyama. We all wishing you the best so that you could come back and show us that we got a power. You know what I'm saying? Okay, people, next story of the episode. Now, over the last couple days, a lot of fans were asking Jason DeMarco, somebody who has been notoriously involved with Toonami's broadcasting and whatnot, which I want to say I read recently that he did say, in fact, that he's not involved in the on-air process anymore. Probably before he moved on to what he's doing for Warner Brothers and whatnot, he like set a few things in place, and probably he's still technically going to be involved because that's his baby, that's his family regardless. But he did say that he's not really involved with the on-air process any longer, so this might be a bunch of things that he did before he walked away. Again, it just seems a little bit muddy in terms of exactly what Jason DeMarco is involved in, but nevertheless, he answered a ton of questions about the future of Toonami, and it also gave some insight into certain things about like how Demon Slayer really has become an issue, and it's not due to like Netflix grabbing the rights or anything like that. It's, yeah, there was a lot, so let's read, because I got a few of his quotes, and then I just got a general brief rundown of what went down. For starters, Jason DeMarco said, "Alright, Toonami fans, floor is open, ask away. If I can answer your question, I will. Let's pass some time together." Somebody asked him, "Are we going to Demon Slayer Season 2 on Toonami, or did Netflix steal that too?" And he replied, "Not Netflix this time. The movie doing so well has made the price, higher than we can afford, let's say," which probably means that the movie becoming what it did, they were like, "Yo, dog, we want a gajillion bucks." And Toonami, especially ever since it returned back, and it's been like, you know, on Saturday nights, Adult Swim, they've never had the craziest budget in the world. They've been very open about that. Like, you know, we try what we can, we save up money from previous budgets so that we could put things together and whatnot, but they don't have the biggest budget in the world to do things like that. So yeah, if they're talking like, "Hey, we want a gajillion dollars for Demon Slayer Season 2, probably they're not going to be able to afford it. And then on top of that, they're doing things like that because they know Toonami might not be able to afford it, but Netflix, all of these other big streaming platforms, and this is also a dangerous situation of Sony, because I want to say Sony is in bed with the people behind Demon Slayer. You know, obviously they're the record label that has the opening and all of that jazz. Just in general, this is where the monopoly situation starts to become a little problematic, of the fact that, you know, there's only a couple of giants now at this point that really have all of the licensed, you know, properties or whatnot of anime that are coming out. So therefore, like, Toonami really is going up against major giants that, again, Japan is like, "Yo, Demon Slayer did X, Y, and Z, so we can ask this price." And yo, Toonami, you kind of shit out of luck. We know you can't afford it. We're sorry, but those people over there can, and we gonna get that bag, dog. It's all politics. It's all money, money, money. Economics, baby. Then there's a bit of a rundown of everything that went down over there, all the questions that he did ask. It said, if you missed at Clark Nova One's Twitter Q&A yesterday, again, that's Jason DeMarco, person that he's been heavily involved from the very start. He's been pretty much one of the people that's kept it alive. Toonami, he said, here's the highlights. 1 unannounced Toonami original for this year, 3 for next year. So there's going to be a Toonami original, which I'm guessing it's going to be an anime. That's going to be kind of dope. And then there's 3 for next year, which I'm going to guess at this particular point, like, Uzumaki is going to be the ones for next year, like one of the 3 for next year, because I don't see them, because it's just been pushed back to Blue Hell at this point. I mean, it would be awesome if it was Uzumaki for this year, and that makes more sense for it, in a way, to be this year. but that'll probably be next year. Lots of stuff planned for the 25th anniversary of The Block. That's dope. 25 years of Toonami, goddamn. Originals popping up on HBO Max sooner rather than later, so they're trying to get that bag. Awesome. Favorite show that he picked was Michiko and Hachin. I've heard a lot of great things about that one. Favorite Toonami moment, killing off Tom 1. That was very, very big. That was what, Sonny Strait voiced Tom 1, if I'm not mistaken. Blu-ray for Blade Runner Black Lotus is likely to happen. Took 1 year plus to develop Tom Clyde's in the Absolution. Moltar was too limiting and C. Martin Croker wasn't into doing Toonami stuff. Due to the popularity of the movie, Demon Slayer is too expensive to air. No plan on squeeze credits speeding up on Toonami. May have to show more non-shonen stuff. Everything is up in the air more than ever, so they might actually branch out and not just show the typical, Naruto, JoJo's, all of that stuff. They might have to, because shonen stuff is getting more and more expensive, especially again with these giants that are getting all of the big rights. They might have to go and say, well, let's see what it do with this comedy. Let's see, let's get some Shin-chan back on the air, because again, it's getting very riskier, and with TV and cable in general shrinking the market and the money and all that jazz, they might be, their hands probably are forced at this point. More music videos and game reviews. 1 out of 2 Tom speeches a year. The negative reaction to the Attack on Titan Season 1 promo led them to doing Voice of God style promos much less. Yu Yu Hakusho may return to Toonami one day. That would be so amazing. We just talked about Yu Yu Hakusho in this episode as well. Will likely keep graphic sets for longer due to budget. Pretty much they can't upgrade the show. And Fina Pirate Princess is likely a one and done creator's decision. It may return one day in the future, but not anytime soon. So any fans of that show, yeah, it's a done data. And I ain't gonna lie, just hearing all of this and everything we've been reporting over the last few months about Toonami just seems like some dark times for the block. It doesn't look like it can sustain itself for the long haul. I wouldn't be surprised this time 10 years from now Toonami will have been a thing of the past, and that's kind of sad to say again, because Toonami, there would be no anime at the level it is right now at the very least without what Toonami did, man. Toonami really helped to propel this genre, this medium that we love so much, at the very least in the West. And yeah, it's kind of crazy, but shout out to Jason DeMarco, everything he's done. So much love and passion from that guy. He's really done a lot for the anime industry, fandom, just in general. It kind of just feels like Toonami's fighting for its life right now, and it's sad. People, next up, big announcement where My Hero Academia stands in terms of sales. We got the global sales and the domestic Japanese sales of the manga. And this is interesting because I just spoke about Tokyo Revengers has surpassed or is about to surpass My Hero Academia. However, according to this, it says My Hero Academia has reached 65 million copies in circulation worldwide. My Hero Academia's 65 million copies are divided into 45 million copies in circulation in Japan, and 20 million copies the rest of the world. So essentially, Tokyo Revengers actually did surpass it, because if I'm not mistaken, that's 50 million copies of Tokyo Revengers in Japan. My Hero Academia has 45. However, globally, My Hero Academia is still in the lead until they put out global numbers for Tokyo Revengers, and 65 million copies is pretty freaking awesome. I ain't gonna lie, that's still really dope. And depending on how long My Hero goes, if they decide to do the, updated My Hero Academia Part 2 in terms of the story after this final stretch of a war, then who knows, it'll hit the 100 million mark. But at this point, 65 million copies, and considering there's still plenty of volumes to go, I could see us by the end of this run, I'm talking about with the last arc that we got to go, the last saga, however you want to phrase it, we'll be at 75 to 80 million, I'd imagine. And with the anime coming up, this is probably going to be one of the most important seasons of My Hero Academia. It could give it that. Fingers crossed, because I do want to see My Hero continue to blow up. It's pretty much the new Naruto of the West for this next generation of kids. I would like for it to have that Marineford-esque explosion of what Marineford did to One Piece, where One Piece was already a king, and then Marineford just blew it over to 30-something million in 1 year. Crazy. But yeah, people, My Hero Academia has 65 million copies in circulation worldwide, 45 million in Japan, and this is no slight to My Hero, by the way. I just want to stress that. It was just kind of shocking that a Kodansha title, Tokyo Revengers, which gets a lot of freaking slander over here in the West as well, outselling My Hero. Yeah, we'll see when it's all said and done, though, because I feel like My Hero is going to go the distance. My Hero is something that, again, like I said, they made it a staple that it's kind of the next gen's Naruto in the West at the very least. And over there in Japan, it's pretty big too. I mean, it's constantly doing great sales wise and whatnot. So shout outs to My Hero, 65 million worldwide. it'll hit 100 mil for sure. I'm not sure exactly when, but it'll get there. And while we're on the topic of sales, a newbie, one that's been, I want to say came out last year if I'm not mistaken, and it's been doing great, and it's just a really freaking amazing manga from one of the former assistants to Tatsuki Fujimoto and his Chainsaw Man series. We got Dan Da Dan sales. It says here, Dan Da Dan by Tatsuyuki Nobu has reached 750,000 copies in circulation, and I want to say it has what, 3 volumes out if I'm not mistaken, like 2, 3, maybe 4 at max, but that's not bad at all. 750,000. And Jump Plus, I always got to stress that Jump Plus is not weekly Shonen Jump. It doesn't have that mainstream, you know, outlet, so to speak, to basically blow up like that, even though, to be fair, they have put Dan Da Dan. I want to say there was like a special chapter that they put in Weekly Shonen Jump to put more eyes on it, but 750,000 copies is probably going to hit the million. By the end of this year, for sure, it'll hit the million because each volume is now like doing more and more first week, and just in general, it's being pushed. And whenever that gets an anime, though, I feel like that's going to be out of here. That's another one of those really crude, edgy, crazy, a lot of the Chainsaw Man-esque type of fans are going to ride with it. That's going to be big. That's going to be in the millions. It's just right now riding alone off of the hype from its manga. Wait till it gets that push of mainstream appeal with an anime, and I don't know why, it screams to me that, yeah, Mappa's gonna be the one that gets it. And maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and you know, Studio Bones all of a sudden will come through, or A1 Pictures or some weird shit, but this just feels, it screams to me at this point where every title they're grabbing, this is going to be a Mappa title someday. Now, I don't know when, maybe next year, the year after that, but yeah, we'll check back, I guess, right? Either way, Dan Da Dan, 750,000 copies in circulation so far, and it's a newbie. It's only been out a year. Okay, people, and last story of the episode, we got the top 10 selling series of the week, and I want to say this is from 117 through 123, so this is a little bit older, but we got number 10, My Hero Academia, 45,000, Four Nights to the Apocalypse, number 9 with 60,000, a couple of cuckoos. I believe there's an anime coming out for that here soon. Then going up a little bit, My Dress Up Darling. A lot of people have told me about that. I can't tell if they're like trolling or it's actually a good series, but at number 5 with 92,000. Then the top 4, the usual suspects, Kimetsu no Yaiba, 108,000, straight up off that anime hype. Tokyo Revengers, yet again, 181,000. Mystery to Lunakari. Okay, I can't avoid this anymore. I gotta check out what the hell this series is. 238,000 once again. And then at number 1, y'all know that JJK Zero movie is doing wonders. Jujutsu Kaisen, 448,000 copies for the series, coming in as the number 1 selling series of the week. Really awesome stuff. We will take a look, I want to say within the next episode or so, of the top 50 best-selling manga. But yeah, that was the top 10 selling series of that week. And yeah, a lot of usual suspects, and I really need to see what the hell this the whole hubbub about with Mystery to Lunakari. But yeah, people, those are all the stories we have for today's episode. Curious what you guys think. Most important story, favorite story, anything that I didn't mention that you want me to talk about, and just in general, yeah, your thoughts on what we covered in this one. A lot of interesting stuff, and again, I just really love including at least a story or two of comic book related things. Like, you know, every time I get to talk about the Batman movie or Invincible or anything related, I'm gonna do it. So if you got any interesting stories regarding comic books that you think might catch my interest, I always take recommendations. Please do, or anything, to be honest with you. That's all I have for this one, though. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links are in the description below. I'm from Neverworld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life. Bye. Have an awesome day. Peace in, and you guys just watched another episode of Whatever News. Have an awesome day.
You